Yeah. Uh. Oh, we live.
We are live.
Hey, this is a new voice on the show. Well, it's a unfamiliar voice. We in the studio. We live. You know, we got the little man in the studio. Detroit's Young C. Feeling good on this Sunday. Blessed to be alive. Blessed to be in the building. And we the relationship game. We're going to dive into a few topics, but today the big over umbrella topic is just like, let's recap the year. Let's recap 2019 going into 2020. I've been doing a lot of recap meetings with a lot of people and just saying like, what you want to do in 2020? Like, what can we collaborate on? Where we want to go?
Right.
And me and Detroit, you know, we've been doing this for a minute. We do need, but the thing is, we only see each other once a week. We only communicate on the show. So live and direct, we got a 2020 meeting on what the hell the relationship game is gonna look like in 2020, or what the heaven, you know what I'm saying? But the last I really kind of had a chance to dive into the show, we had a really dope live show that I'm proud of for my birthday, to celebrate my birthday. And then we also, we had a couple of great episodes, but you know, I just got back from Jamaica. It's the holidays, so things have been a little bit crazy, but how you doing, man?
I cannot complain. I'll put it like this, I won't complain.
Yeah.
But I can't, went to San Francisco last week. I wasn't here for that show. How did that go?
We had a rerun.
That's how that went.
Yeah, that's how that went. But you know, I'm sure people enjoyed the reruns because it was a live show rerun, which, like I said, was a great show. Hey, if anybody that's listening, that's tuned in, could give us a comment, because I always tell Detroit, I'll be feeling like these damn vocals or the instruments be sounding so loud in my ear. But if y'all tell him, then maybe he'll listen. So if anybody want to chime in, let me know. Today, I was at the Raider game. I was kind of twisted, you know what I'm saying? Thankfully, oh, there we go. Now I'm not yelling in the mic like I'm freaking DMX.
You wasn't yelling at first.
But look, anyways, today was a great day. Saw the Raiders do their thing, you know what I'm saying? They swept the Chargers for the season. The Raiders are the Raiders. You know, the Chargers are the Chargers. We not like these great teams, but we got, you know, fan bases that show up, and now Detroit is pulling out his San Francisco 49ers. Nobody asked you about your team, bro. Relax, bro. You know what? Chill out.
You said great things, and I had to read.
This guy,
was an automatic.
This guy's crazy. Nobody cares about the 49ers right now.
First off, you got two people in the room that care about the first.
Yeah, I never seen this guy have a 49ers. Just for the record, this is the first time I've even seen this hat since I've known you. You know, this is a long time to be doing a podcast. Now you got a whole hat, you know, to bring to the 49ers.
I keep it laying.
Okay.
Right. But I did just come back from your place, the Bay. Yeah. That's for you. I put that back on because it's cold. And I brought back the beanie because he's a Niner fan as well.
Oh, so it's a new beanie.
It's a new beanie.
Yeah, I knew it was.
It's a new beanie. I just don't wear red beanies.
Yeah. Okay.
But today's Sunday, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, you got to represent, and I didn't have on my Niner jersey, so he had it on. And so.
Hey, man.
But you brought up great teams, and it just.
Nah, you know, shout outs. I mean, look, the Niners is the Niners. You know,
I'm very worried about it.
Well, look, I will say this. I will, truthfully, there was, like, I saw the game on Saturday. They played on Saturday, ironically. I will admit, like, there was some times where I was like, damn, Garoppolo ain't too bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, meaning, like, he had to make some plays to win that game.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I was just like, okay. Like, I was watching it. I damn near wanted to go to overtime because I had in my fantasy entrance. I had a interest. I had a girly playing, and I had
they picked They didn't want to give him the ball.
Yeah, I had Gurley and I had Goff. So I was like, let these fools go into overtime. Like, I don't care. You know what I'm saying? So anyways, all this saying is like that last drive, especially, I was like, damn, like this guy is doing some things, you know. And so what's the name? Jimmy G ain't half bad, and the defense is obviously great, you know. So
they leave some stuff to be desired.
Yeah,
but I'm gonna put it like this as far as us. I'm worried because the same thing to make you laugh or to make us cry. And what was making us laugh at first and everything was going good was Kyle Shanahan, and now he's becoming our pitfall or our liability because Jimmy G can throw the ball, right? To your point, he can throw the ball. But Kyle's offense doesn't work passing-wise without a play action. So now we just have...
You got like 20 running backs.
Right. And so we just need... So now when we drop straight back in the pass, you ask some receivers that are good once they get the ball that don't do well to get open. Now, Emmanuel Sanders...
You don't have like a solid like guy that you...
Yeah, I mean...
outside of Kittle is pretty solid. You know
right,
what I'm saying?
But again, he's better too coming off
play action. Everybody's better off play action.
Right, but my thing is we have the same weapon that the Ravens have, which is we have a good running game.
Yeah, in a big time tight end.
So back in earlier the year, we were running the ball 40 times a game. I couldn't even pick up Garoppolo not because he was doing bad, but he would throw the ball 15 times.
Yeah.
And have a great game and have like 190, 199, you know. So because he wasn't throwing it that much.
Yeah.
And so
the thing's going to change in the playoffs.
Our defense was great because they only saw the field 7 times, it seemed like.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, but now since he figured out, Jimmy G
I can
trust him. Now he's trying to treat him like Matt Ryan, and
that's when he throws the picks and stuff.
I fear that Kyle hasn't learned his lesson from RG3, the year they lost in the playoffs, or more importantly, Atlanta, the year he was up 28. He was, but he wasn't supposed to go back in the game, and he's throwing too much with him. But 28-3, you up on the Patriots, and you continue to pass the ball.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, look. Hey, good luck to y'all. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a hater. You know what I'm saying? But obviously, like, I want my team to do their thing, but obviously my team not going to do their thing, so it is what it is. The Warriors ain't doing their thing. You know, maybe we might end up with, like, one of the Ball brothers or something, you know, which would be crazy.
I hope not, because it's hard for me to, I don't know. I think it might, you know what, I'll be honest, because especially after going to San Francisco this past week, y'all fans are not that bad. The funny thing is, y'all don't act as nearly as...
You're about to dive into the fandom of the Bay.
No.
And the thing is that you got to understand is that you know, San Francisco fandom and the Warrior fandom is a whole different breed. If you want to go, you know,
I get that, but
the Raiders is the streets.
No. I know that, but there were Raider fans there too. You know what I'm saying? But
what?
Because we went, my sister's boyfriend, fiance, whatever he is. He went over. He's a Raider fan. He went over to the Bay, and they were fighting at the stadium. So
at what stadium? At
Oakland, because that was the last home game.
Yeah. As you should.
No. I'm not mad at it.
Because it's funny. I was at the game today, and I told my wife, I'm like, luckily the Raiders won because they was ready to fight. Raiders come to the game ready to fight, pretty much.
All day. But no, just being in the Bay, like you guys, I feel like you guys are more outside of the Raiders fans. Like you guys are more civil there when you're in Oakland as opposed to when you're here.
I mean, I would say that it's not as bad, but yes, drunk Raider fan. Well, drunk Raider fans is actually a thing.
That city does not deserve to lose
a team.
The Raiders.
Yeah, that's pretty whack. It's super whack, actually. It's super duper whack for the city of Oakland. It's cool. I will say this, business-wise, it's definitely like a good thing for them because, honestly, like, they just got a multi-billion-dollar stadium built, and it's going to bring in a lot of money to the organization and to Vegas. You know, it's going to be actually like a dope-ass experience.
I saw the stadium.
Yeah, I think it's going to be actually pretty dope for like the consumer.
I don't know if they'll be ready by next year.
I don't know. I mean, they don't got nowhere to go, really.
They don't. But I said that to say.
But it's definitely whack for them to lose.
Yeah,
the team.
I don't dislike the Golden State Warriors as much as I dislike Laker fans that I felt like were all of a sudden Golden State Warriors, and that made me. Because I used to actually, when y'all had BD, I used to root for y'all, and that year y'all won.
BD,
Baron Davis.
Okay.
I rooted for y'all.
Shout out to Baron Davis.
But it was genuine. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was not because I like the players, but I like the players. I didn't like the team. Lakers, LeBron ascends, and all of a sudden the Lakers, when they was in the doldrums, all of a sudden became Golden State. And I'm like, I don't.
Yeah. No, that happens. I mean, people like talking about, oh, it's just Cali, whatever, so it's all good.
All of a sudden. But where's it now, though?
Yeah.
Where's just Cali now? Because I don't see, you know what I'm saying? You still here.
I personally, at one point, was a Laker rooter. I was rooting for the Lakers when Kobe was trying to get that 6th ring. Mm-hmm. And so I definitely was like, yo, that would be dope. Like, to see in this era, to see the kid.
Are you telling me the Lakers would have been closer to your heart than Golden State?
Well, it was nothing to root for at the time with Golden State. So I was just, I mean, that's the thing. It's like, sometimes, right now, at some point, the playoffs is going to start, and I'm going to be rooting for my boy Lamar Jackson to get that ring. Why? I don't got my Raiders to root for. I mean, what do you want me to do?
But you know how diehard Laker fans are.
Yeah.
So for them to be one side Laker, another side Golden State, equally as hard, like, I'm like,
I get what you're saying. It's like double dutching.
Because in my opinion, if it's Western Conference Finals and it's Lakers Warriors, you rooting for the Warriors.
Yeah. Well, let's also, lastly, on the sports topic, because I don't want people to tune out because we're talking about relationships. Lastly, I would say my fantasy football season has come to an end pretty much. I might be able to break even in one league by getting 3rd place. I'm a little bit of a long shot. So it's just like, it's kind of whack. It's like, fantasy football is such a joke. Like, I just put that on Facebook too. Like, it's just like,
when you lose it.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, people, you know, I don't know, man. It's just whack. You know, I sat up here and just, you know, all this blood, sweat, and tears that I put into this season, and just to I was so close. I was so close to actually cashing out in like my big money league. Just 1 or 2 like lineup adjustments. This time for the 3rd place, which would have been nice. It was just no way I was gonna win. This dude had like the Colts defense, so it was just like a wrap. Let alone like all my little, you know, freaking Amari Cooper disappears on me for the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? The Cowboys. How about them Cowboys? That's all I got to say. How about them? Literally, how about the Cowboys?
Look,
tell me how about
fan.
You keep losing? How about you keep? How about I'm never drafting none of y'all fools again because of y'all mediocrity. How about
you sound like Stephen A.
I'm serious. How about them? These fools are losers.
I wish. I mean, we do have this podcast, so you need to clip that one,
bro.
You need to clip that one.
Yo, this is crazy. These fools are losers, bro. Like, you think I'm already a Raiders fan at that? Like, I don't know, man. It's like it's one thing to be like, it's one thing to have a team. Now I'm rooting for this other loser team. You know what I'm saying? It's like that's enough is enough. Like, I'm tired of this cat trying to, you know, root for these losers. It's like, look, I got one the freaking Rams. The Rams is losing. Just all these fools is like, I'm like, y'all reminded me of the Raiders, where it's like, you rooting for people that's already just like, they jacked up. I got one losing team. That's enough. I don't need any other organizations to come around trying to get me to buy into something that they trying to sell me and they lose. That's I don't know.
So look, perfect segue because it's still relationships and sports. Skip brought his wife back on. Ernestine.
Who?
Skip Bayless brought his wife back on the show. I don't know if you've seen it the first time.
Oh, I never seen his wife.
She looks like him with a wig on. It's crazy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but
that's funny.
So she wrote a book And
He might be a narcissistic.
I'm ask you the same thing that her book is about.
She was a guest on the show because he always talks about it.
Yeah. So and nobody had ever seen her.
Yeah.
So she wrote a book because that was the reason why she was on the first time to debut her book, which was how to date an avid or rabid sports fan.
Mm-hmm.
You know, how to date or be a wife, because she said he's maniacal, he's crazy. You know, like
he be like doing all types of stuff. During the game.
But he went into detail this past time.
Like he does different stuff during the game because he's like superstitious and stuff, right?
It's crazy, yeah. And like she literally is scared to come home.
She
said she just finds grocery shopping, 4 or 5 times a day.
Skip Bayless was rooting for the Cowboys, but he's definitely gonna be mad on Monday.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is they still have a chance to win it.
To what? Win the division?
Yeah,
at 8-8.
Yeah, if Philly has to lose though. If Philly loses and Cowboys win, Cowboys go.
Yeah, but, whatever. They're still.
But so for the relationship question, because it is playoffs coming up, and men are going to want to sit in front of the TV, and women are going to require attention somehow right then and there. So during this upcoming time, what is your advice for the ladies on how to date a guy that's in sports? If not you yourself.
What did she say? I didn't see the interview.
I know.
What was her advice?
Well, that was her advice. She said for him, Skip in particular, it's like she leaves. She said she doesn't care what she has to do. She said when they were talking about the upcoming week, she was like, it's going to be hell. She said the day when he had disowned Kawhi and was calling him number 2, she would have to sneak off and root quietly. You know what I'm saying? Like take her laptop into her office and be she couldn't, she would have to she know he'd be mad, but she could never openly root for him because she said he probably would have made her pack her bag.
Yeah. Kawhi, yeah.
She if Dallas loses, it's definitely a 24-hour day where she's out, slips in. You know what I'm saying? And she was now he's taking the dog because he thought it was a good luck charm.
Oh really?
You know what I'm saying? So she comes to the house and she's where's my dog? You know what I'm saying? Skip must have him, so she's just look, she don't care. But she said she can't. She said eventually she has to go home and eat and change clothes and shower. But she said she just waits until the last minute, and she tries to wait until he's simmered down. But she was it becomes her fault, and so she just stays away.
Well, I would say this for me. Here goes the irony of the whole thing. You invest time and energy and all that mental capacity, whatever you invest. Hey, we gotta turn. You turn down this. Turn down.
Destin.
So you invest time, energy, and sweat equity, whatever the hell you want to call it, right? You invest that into these things that you really don't have any control over. Mm-hmm. We have zero control over it, and so it's really almost like insanity a little bit. And that, when you start really investing your real, true feelings into it. But so for me, I kind of am at a place where I'm once I realize how much control I don't have over it, and I'm just kind of guessing really, then I just really stopped getting really upset. But truthfully, the weird thing is as much as this is fantasy, literally in a sense, it's literally called fantasy football, but it's actually real money. You know what I'm saying? So that's the other catch-22 where it's
tangible.
Yeah, it's if these guys that
do what they're supposed to do, this pays dividends.
I actually get real money in my hands.
All good.
Yeah, and so
I know you hear fantasy.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Real.
Yeah,
that's a lie. It's real.
Yeah. So that's the catch-22 of the whole thing where it's truthfully, a dude, it's this dude Jared Cook. Last week I played him. He's been doing pretty tight end. He's been doing pretty good all season. For the second half, he was with the Raiders. He's with the
Rams.
He's with the Steelers. No, I mean the Saints right now. So this fool, what's his name? This fool, Drew Brees goes for his touchdown record that night. So I'm like, cool, you know. But also Jared Cook just came off a concussion protocol, whatever. So I'm like, I put him in the lineup. He ends up doing like okay, but not getting the touchdowns. Drew Brees threw 4 touchdowns. None of them went to the one guy I needed him to go to. So today he throws him 2 touchdowns. You know what I'm saying? So last week, throw him a touchdown, I get money. This week, didn't throw him any touchdowns. It doesn't matter. I'm out of money, right? So it's just like, can I really like just stress myself out? Can I beat myself over the head? Yeah, I can do that, but it's really just not even something that's healthy. It's not. It's whatever. It's like, what can you really do about it? It's just like losing a game and just going back through your playbook and just saying like, what could I have done differently? But sometimes it's just not your time to win a game. You know what I'm saying? Like, you try to win, but you know, the chips don't just fall in your corner. So, but I will say on the relationship side, as far as women go, and women are not just women, let's say like a sports fanatic and a non-sports fanatic, if they're in a relationship, or a fantasy fanatic versus non-fantasy fanatic, I would just say this, like, for me and my personal relationship, like, my wife is she's like okay with it. Like, she doesn't like it, but she's like okay with it. But she doesn't it kind of like, she's like more so like roll her eyes, like, you know, this, you're spending too much time, or you know, this has too much of your focus. Like, for me, if in a perfect world, on a Sunday or whatever, I would get up, turn on Football Fantasy Now, and I would, at 8 o'clock, and I would watch that for 2 hours, and I would feel good. Like, I would feel like I had a good enough
lineup,
like a good enough accurate
projection.
Like what I need to do for the week. Like, this guy, enough analysts comes on and say, I feel good about this guy. He has this kind of condition, this the weather. So I had enough information to feel informed and confident about this lineup that I put together. That's a perfect world. But obviously, 2 kids, a wife, those things aren't going to be optimal conditions every week. Right. It's just like, I might just catch the last 30 minutes and I'm just going to go off for like, ooh, this guy did this last week, whatever. I do spend a lot of time with it. And who says, you might say it's access time, whatever. But at the end of the day, if that check hit, oh, cool, we got money. You know what I'm saying? It ain't like, oh, babe, you did all this work. Oh my God! Do something nice for yourself, because you know you got the choice.
No, it's cool, but we need this. We need that. We need this.
It ain't no. It's not even a bad. It's no. It's no pat on the ass. It's no. Hey, you know what? Through all that blood, sweat, and tears, you did that. Like, you put it. So it's like a lose. It's not a win. It's a win, but it's like, if I win, we win. If I lose, then I lose. I don't know how to see.
No, I get exactly what you're saying.
So that's kind of my position on it, where it's like, if you, in a perfect world, you'll be like, yeah, get that money. Like, do that. Yo, hey, actually, you know, I want a room for, you doing the fantasy? Okay, cool. Like, do that. You know, all right, cool. I got, you know, and obviously it's fantasy, so I'm not going to go too deep, but it's just like, in a perfect world, you would be like, you would just be in an optimal situation, and not like in a, hey, this is just this stupid thing that you do kind of thing. Yeah. You know, and I'm not saying that it's like, maybe I'm being dramatic, but you know, whatever.
I don't think you are. I mean, and I know women that are like sports fans, like fanatics. So we have a lot of them in our league or whatever. But for me, I would just don't just leave me alone. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you don't have anything positive to say, don't say it, and let me go through my process of, because to me, I get in things and I get out of things. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to get mad if we lose. But as soon as I get mad, in 5-10 minutes, I'll be like, oh, okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you know, I'm going about my business. Now, in that 5 minutes, I may be irate. You know what I'm saying? I may give it, but it doesn't sit with me past, especially being a coach. Like, I understand, like, things happen. Yeah. Or whatever.
Well, that's the thing for me when I don't get that little bit of time, because I'll be like, I'll be probably like you said, you right away, your first reaction is like anger, disappointment, whatever. You got to at least give you that. Like, give me just like if the clock strikes 0 and you like, damn, like, and then it's like, oh, we'll get over it or whatever, or this is stupid, or this is fantasy, or this is not real, or this is sports, you got bigger things to worry about. It's like, well, I actually wanted to win. Like, I wanted something to happen I didn't want to happen.
But because to me, this is actually goes a little bit further than because I think a lot of men appreciate passions that their lady have, and anything that because a lot of things that they like we don't. You know what I'm saying? But it's not for us to divulge into. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, that's your thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really don't like shopping the way you like shopping, or I don't care about decorum the way you care about decorum, nor do I care about the story that you're telling me that has nothing to do with you, me, or actually the person who's even telling you the story. Yeah. However, you know what I'm saying? It means a lot to you for me to have your attention, or for me to just to care about the thing that you care about. So cool. Passions make things perfect in the sense that it gives you things to look for. Think of how bad Sundays were before fantasy football. Like, you know how hard it is to watch it? Like, I literally wouldn't watch football, I don't think, as much if fantasy football wasn't around. You know what
I definitely wouldn't be watching as many in the red zone and all that stuff. I'm like, who cares about
you know what I'm saying?
the Browns and all these fools? You know what I'm saying?
The red zone makes it easier. But what I would like to convey to the ladies, or just people, not just ladies, but people that are, to your point, in relationships with fanatics, it's their, like, you don't know the relationship that, one, you don't know the relationship that why that fan has that relationship with that team or whatever, or what type of morale it does. There was an interview on the NFL Network, and it was talking about how this guy, he was a drunk, he's alcoholic, and he failed time and time again. And then so he just promised his dad, he went straight to jail, promised his dad, like, look, just don't give up on me one more last time. Dad put him in rehab, and in rehab, their group had a fantasy football situation. He was like, and so from that, and mind you, he was like, from that, he never drunk again. And so now him as a sponsor, the way he brings people together as a collective, and he won his first 2 years, his first 2 times in it. Now he does that for the remaining of his sponsors. He's been sober. He has his own business now or whatever. But it started from fantasy football. He's a Bills fan. You know what I'm saying? Some of us, we were raised that. For me, that's what
all he had. That's all he had to root for was fantasy with the Bills.
Yeah, for me, I was raised by the Niners. That's how I look at it. Like, I was raised around all women, and so all the thing I liked to do was watch football in the Niners. My first book I had was a Bill Walsh book. You know what I'm saying? That's the first time and then from that, I was able to go from there to the paper, and then I would pick up reading.
Who's the greatest 49er?
Jerry Rice.
You mean Jerry Rice the Raider?
Jerry Rice the 49er.
Although
he did put up numbers. He was 40 with Brady. Hey, look. He was still getting his issue.
I knew you was going to say Jerry Rice. That's why I set you up. Yeah. Don't forget he was a Raider.
Hey, look, I don't dislike I don't dislike the Bay. You know what I'm saying? I've always had an infinite care for the Bay because they had y'all had Marcus. You know what I'm saying? Allen. I could not like Marcus. Y'all had Tim Brown.
I thought he was out here.
Marcus Allen?
Mm-hmm. Then he went out here.
He went to USC.
But I'm talking about when he went to the Raiders. I thought he was. Don't get me lying, but
I thought
he was a Raider. I thought he was an LA Raider.
He might have been an LA Raider, but I was too young. So like just the highlights that I saw, even though it was LA. Like the Raiders have always been Oakland to me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I've never looked at them like the LA Raiders. And then y'all had Tim Brown. I take my fingers in college. You know what I'm saying? Because of Tim Brown.
Touchdown. Hey, that was a crazy. We had Jerry Rice and Tim Brown on one team. Crazy.
You know what I'm saying?
That was a crazy squad we had. Like super. That 1 year, but that 2 year window, and that's when birthed Brady. But that's a whole nother subject.
But it's been like on Sundays. I used to give like my girlfriend like, look, just stay out of my hair. You know, you can have my debit card. Just go do what you got to do, because it was my place.
Was there money on it?
Yeah. Some days. You know what I'm saying? Some days she would call. She had to call back like, can I afford this? Like, I don't.
Good luck. Swipe it, see what happens.
Well, why'd you give it to me? I really just needed you to get away from me. You know what I'm saying? You can come back and get the cash, though. You had cash the whole time? Yeah, I did. I just needed that. It's going to take me 2 hours. Yeah, the game be over by there. You know what I'm saying? So
I forgot we recently seen each other you pulled up on me at the original People's event.
Yeah, man, which I'm so heartbroken that I
we gonna make the next one. We'll just make the
vibe in there was super dope. Met some of the people. The funny thing, when I lived in downtown LA, I had never been to that part of the that hotel.
Yeah, me neither.
because they would hold events there all the time, little dances and whatnot. But it seemed just from the vibe and the few people that I had small conversations with before I got out of Dodge.
No, you didn't even say peace out or nothing to me.
Well, I thought you left.
I went down. I told you I was going downstairs.
Yeah, and then I went downstairs and I looked for you, and I saw the people in the restaurant, but I didn't see you. So I'm like, maybe he went outside. And then once I walked outside, we was outside. We outside at that point.
Yeah. No, I was at the bar. I was at the bar area getting food. But you probably, whatever.
Yeah. Well, she wanted Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so,
but it was dope. I'm glad you pulled up. And, yeah, man. I mean, look, we pulled up to an event together, which was dope. And it was about, like, relationships, which finances in relationships.
Since I missed it, enlighten me.
It was dope. It was shout out to Brandy. She's the Seat at the Table podcast. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so my wife's good friend brought us on. Her friend invited us to be speakers at this event. It was like a talk. They call it a dialogue, and it was about like originals and original people, and also how to creating a way to collectively profit or make profit or collectively bring our resources together for our equity, the cultural cachet that we create in pop culture or American culture and things of that nature. So things that we could. So basically, he want the brother that I'm blanking on his name, but he basically wanted to put like black-owned businesses or black-inspired things or hip-hop inspired whatever things that we could be out in the market buying or consuming and things like that they would have like a symbol on it, and it would basically represent like
it's a black business.
Yeah, this is a black business or this is a black inspired thing.
That would help a lot too.
Yeah, it would help in a lot of spaces, especially the things that we've contributed to the world. But we're basically, especially like black, the way we spend, it's like we're basically like a country, like a whole entire small country that would our gross economics would just like our spending power, our dollar,
them alive.
Yeah, our spending power is just so. We have to harness it at some point. We have to sit down and figure out ways to harness that, because it's not coming back to us. We're putting it out, and then even the things we buy, people follow those trends and figure out ways to like what's hot and what we need to like. Oh, this is the next thing that they're doing. You know what I'm saying? It's just like our the way our sauce is, which I understand, but whatever. We have to create economic pathways for us as well. So we were on this panel, super dope, and then we were talking about black just relationships, how you do money. So we've had this talk before, but essentially the dialogue was, how do you in a relationship address money, and in what ways do you address money in a relationship, and how do you create economic empowerment in a relationship?
Well, since you're the professional, can I broach you how I do it, and you tell me if it's bad, good enough?
And I'm not gonna say bad, but everybody does it differently.
Yeah, it could be better. Because before it used to, depending on where you are, it becomes a touchy subject, and so now. What I'll do is I'll talk about me first, right? So, because this is our 4th year together. So I'll talk about my money first, candidly, right? And then I won't directly ask unless it's something that's directly affecting me, because our money isn't as tied as a married couple's would be. You know what I'm saying? However, we do have a lot of things together. So after I candidly open ask, and I'll say, look, this is what I have going on. I either need help in this area, or do you need help in this area? Are you good? Without any specifics, in a vague way. And then Whatever she gives me, whatever she says, not. That's it.
Well, is that working?
Recently, yeah. It's better than what it was. Because I know with some women, the conversation has always been particularly finicky because either they had somebody prior that used them in that fashion, and the conversation is never an honest one, and it goes straight from a question to negative, and then to ulterior motive, like why are you asking? And then in other cases and scenarios, it's just been like a why, you know what I'm saying, a why. And so I find it easier the deeper you get in because now your goals are widely known. So it's easy. Like I know for a fact what you probably can or can't do because you have a goal. At least now, that's what I'll say. Like if I have something to get to achieve, I'll tell her. I used to keep that stuff secret. Like, you know, like I'm trying to do this. So then when I'm stressing or I don't make it or if I fail or whatever, if I could have been helped, now nobody knew. So with her particularly, I'll say, look, I don't want to spend no money this week. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm trying to do X, Y, and Z. And in hope and succession. I mean, it's been better. It's been that comment. This is the work this time around where it seems like the more candid you are with what you have going on, then it's not as bad coming back.
Yeah, candid conversations about money. I would just say it depends on like where you're trying to go. Because if you like still in the dating phase, like for me, like the money situation took a new life once we went into like, all right, we about to get married. You know what I'm saying? That's when it took a different thing. Bless you. But like for me, when you're dating, like I did feel good about money early on because like I said before, like my wife, which when we were dating, you know, obviously wasn't my wife at the time, but like she was good in certain ways. Like, excuse me, when she wasn't working, like she'd be like, oh, I'm not working. So she'll be like, you know, I'm planning on going home. So I gotta go, you know, so she'll just be very strategical in a sense, like, oh, I want to go home and for Christmas. So like she'll be buying her ticket like way earlier, just planning out things. And I'm always just like last minute. I'm paying bills at the last minute or late. I'm planning trips, which is gonna pay. You know, now you gotta double up the flights, whatever. Or she'll be like, oh, I'm not working for so now I hope I get this job at this time because I'm using my savings until this amount. And I'll just be like, wow, you're using savings? You have savings? Like I'm working and I don't even have savings. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm working and I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to eat, if I'm going to eat. You know what I'm saying? So then I was just like, okay, she has like her.
Trying to kill me today.
So I could tell, like, okay, she has like her, you know, just things more, and that side of things is better than me.
Ducks in a row.
Yeah, ducks in a row. So that made me feel good. But then from my side, I was like, all right, my dad and my stepmom, they would always be complaining like, he don't have no money, she got all the money, but they both working. But he's like basically, and his thing as the man, you know, and they both don't really have nothing, not saying nothing, but you know what I mean? It's right. Like, he's like, all right, I'm going to pay all the bills and whatever's left over, I might do whatever. I might have a little bit left over just to do some stuff for myself. But essentially, my role as the man of the house is to just take care of everything. And then her thing is she can kind of just
move through life.
Yeah, maybe I'll buy this, buy that for the house, but then the rest of the stuff is mine, basically, you know? And that was just like,
that's no way to go.
Yeah, that just was like, y'all both are not really even like working together as y'all
not cohesive.
Y'all really just y'all just getting by. Y'all just really, y'all totally separate. And to me, they ended up, you know, splitting up and going different ways. And that just was a representation of how their relationship was in general. Of like, you know, I truly believe that money, this paper that we designated, you know, amount to, you know what I'm saying? Oh, this paper is worth this, that, you know, this just truly, it's just made up. You know what I'm saying? That's the essence of it. And it goes, the dollar amount goes up and down. You go to one country, this is worth that. You know, it's just this fictional thing, truly. And so, you know, not saying like, okay, this money can do something for you and change your life, but the true reality is no matter what the dollar amount is, no matter what the Dow is or the NASDAQ or whatever the hell we go on next, or the Bitcoin or whatever the hell we do in the next thing, like, it's truly about two people coming together and pooling their resources and saying, like, if we were goat herders and we were like, hey, I'll marry your daughter for 100 sheep or whatever. You get what I'm saying? Like, we're just like people who are like, this is what we got. This is what we're trying to do. Let's figure out a way to get to where we're trying to go, basically. You know what I'm saying? And that's truly what it is. And the dollars just represent that in a physical form, basically. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I see it personally. And so that's what I want. And then my grandparents was a opposite prime example. Just, they had like about 10 properties, bunch like multi-units. They had money, they had cars, then they had great credit, and they could do everything they wanted to do pretty much. And they were just an example, like, hey, this is how we did it. It's like, we put our money together in one pot, no matter what the other person brings in. And mind you, my grandfather had like a pretty decent job. My grandma always worked, but she never like really made maybe more than like, I want to say like $7 or maybe $10 at the most. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But she was good with money. You know what I'm saying? And she paid her stuff on time, which gave her good credit and all that stuff. Or if she was late, she said she would write letters and say, hey, I'm going to be late, but I'm going to pay you here. And so it just kept her credit in good standing. So all that to say is they work together. They're like, this is how we do our thing. We do everything in one pot. That my grandfather would pay. They both were good with bills, and he would like print out checks and have, you know, they had properties, and then they would have like rental properties, and so they just knew that side of real estate. This is the game that my grandfather gave me. He said they ain't making no more land, right? So that was the thing that clicked in my head when he said that, because he was like, yeah, the best thing you do is buy property. They ain't making no more land. I was like, you know what? You're right about that. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, it's like, okay, so invest in property. That's just like, keep it as simple as possible. So I'm saying all that to say is that I saw several examples, but I saw very vividly two prime examples of when it came to money, how it didn't work and how it did work. And I'm like, I'd rather go with the side of things that did work, because I know in my situation where our money being together has allowed us to find money, you know what I'm saying, or has allowed us to like just buy better things or bigger things or bigger purchases or better purchases, or, you know, it's like, ooh, instead of $100, I got $200. Now, guess what you can get? Oh, or actually, instead of saving $200 a month, now I'm saving $400 a month. Now, 3 months from now, we're going to have, right. $1,200 or whatever. So now we're going to be able to get this thing that we really wanted. You get what I'm saying? Compared to like, I'm going to have $600, and so I really don't want to spend $300 or whatever. And you know what I'm saying? Now I'm only going to get a pair of shoes or something, and then the shoes is bad in like, 6 months or whatever, So you get what I'm saying? Just little things like that where it's like, yeah, we could be separate, but it's like at a certain point, we're not roommates. We're actually like partners in this thing that we're trying to build, and so we're actually like business partners. And you're not my employee. I'm not your whatever. I'm not your assistant. We're partners in this corporation. Basically, we're 50-50 owners, and we need to do what we can to build this corporation as best as possible. So I said a lot, but that's the game. I hope that you take some of that one pot. That's my rule. One pot is a thing. One pot, and they ain't making no more land. Farrakhan said it too. So he was like, he said the best thing a black man or black person could do is buy land. So that's the game.
Yeah, I'm with that. I've always been a communal person though. So and money is not. I hate it. Like I saw it get so many people hurt.
Yeah.
Divide families.
And it's not really. It's sad because truly back in the day, people used to just what do you call that? Like people used to use the not barter, but like they used to barter things of that, and used to they say that things change when I guess with that that old school track from Nas where he said I know I can't be what I want to be or whatever, and he was talking about when the things changed when money became basically empowered Europeans, what I'm saying, the dollar, because at some point especially like with Native Americans and things like that, when you actually have land and that's where the power comes from. You come into a place with nothing, and you give me some paper that you say, oh, look at this paper, it's worth $100, and now I got this paper. Now you got my land. Now you got my resources. Now you got wait a second. I had the upper hand. You get what I'm saying? Right. So that's part of like colonization around the world, and just different things where. You might not have something, so now you just gotta convince everybody that this thing that you have is like the thing that you need to get. When it's like really, you know what I'm saying? It's almost like a trick. Like you and your girl, what y'all have is a bond, and what y'all building towards is bigger than a dollar sign. You know what I'm saying? And that's what the goal should be for everybody. That's what I want to say, and. Those money conversations are hard because money is a thing. It's money is one of those things that can make or break you.
But to me, it's harder when you
don't talk about it.
It's harder when you don't talk about it, and it's harder when they don't know nothing about you and what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? Like now, since I am transparent with that, like now it's not really a hard conversation for me. You know what I'm saying? Like it's because then it allows humancy, if that's a word, between people. Like, oh, this is where you are. Well, this is where I was too. And sometimes your assumption, for better and worse, you'd be thinking like, oh, well, you're great with money, and you find out they're not. You know what I'm saying? Oh, okay, you're bad with money, you find out they are. You know what I'm saying? And so it just humanizes. That's what I'm looking for. It humanizes people, and then now. Because sometimes you may be having your head, you be thinking in your head. That's the other reason I talk about it. One day I was not with this girl, but I was dating another girl, and I was like, dang, what restaurant do I want to take her to? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
Crustaceans.
I just wanted to impress her, right?
That's where you go to in the Bay.
Yeah, and I sent the wrong text. I sent it to her, but I was trying to send it to the homie. Like, where should I go? I don't have that much money, right? You know what I'm saying? And she sent me back like, I'll cook. We ain't gotta spend the money. Like, I don't really want to. She was like, it would have been cool. She's like, but it wouldn't have. She's like, it wouldn't have made me think of better or worse. She's like, now the conversation that happens in between that, cool. And then she was like,
so y'all had never been out before?
We had been out a few times, but I just wanted to take her. It was like it was like a real date. I wanted to do that, and she was like, honestly, I don't respect fancy restaurants if I haven't earned it. You know what I'm saying? So like I feel she's like,
what the heck is earning?
Well, what she meant was like, if we haven't been dating long enough where she didn't feel that close to me, she'd felt like I was trying to get something out of her. And
what's wrong with that?
And wouldn't respect. And she was like, so the effect that I would have wanted the restaurant to have on her would have rang hollow, because she'd have been sitting there thinking like, oh well, he wants something from me, as opposed to knowing that I care, and then she gets to take everything in and be like, oh, he did this, just for me.
I seen this girl go on a drunken tangent about how this guy, I guess she thought he was all this and that, and he took her to Chili's, and I was like, I mean, I guess, look, it's a first date. And I mean, Chili's could have been next to Dave and Buster's.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it's like, I don't know you, and you look cool, like you cool as a person, but
even if you was fine.
But I'm just saying, like, how do you go? She's like, oh yeah, he said he was this and that, and he took me. You know where he took me? He took me to Chili's, and I was just like, what? How?
At least he took you somewhere.
Yeah, like, is that like the worst place to take a person on a first date? No. Like, is that like, I mean,
because Shawnee said all the time, he was like, I deliberately, he was like, people see me, they see money, like, I know they do that. But he's like, I deliberately take people to McDonald's or be at places that I either don't frequent often or whatever. He was like, and it's really just a personality thing to see how you react.
She failed that test, and I'm sure she just totally paraded this dude over Chili's, and I'm like, that doesn't, to me, that was the first time he just, I mean, yeah, I might have just took you to Chili's just to see.
He might be mad. Now he might be mad that he took you that far.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, he might have really wished that he would have tried to do a Netflix and chill and just said, you know what I'm saying? He didn't, that's what I'm saying. That's the way she was acting. Like, the man said, hey, come over, I'm in my boxers or something, just Netflix and chill.
And funny, like, I can't be honest about Netflix and chill. I can't just do that with anybody. I'm not bringing no random back to Netflix and chill because I get invested in these TV shows, and I don't want to have to wait to watch this show.
You're not really watching what you really want to watch.
I know, but I always get caught up.
You got to put something on. I can't lie, though. Sometimes, look, I will say this, though. The Netflix and chill, you definitely, to do Netflix and chill right, don't do something that you're really trying to watch. That's just my word. And it's, if it does catch your attention too much, I don't know. I'm more of a Blockbuster and chill. That's what me and my wife was on back in the day. You know what I'm saying? Hollywood Video. You know what I'm saying? Which you don't even see.
The last one I knew was in Hawthorne up by the mall.
Yeah. But
Blue and gold.
The thing is that I would say the kids, y'all, if you really on that about that life, you gotta say something like, "Hey, let's watch." I don't know. What are you watching? Star Wars? I don't know. Just watch something that she knows she. Yeah, I can. I'm actually watching that Mandalorian right now, the Star Wars series.
I don't like Star Wars.
I'm not a Star Wars guy, but I'm into it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? It's actually kind of tight.
I'll check it out. Is that on Disney Plus?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll check it out.
Yeah, it's actually kind of tight.
But every time I go there, I end up watching The Lion King. I just can't get enough of it. Like,
which one?
The regular one.
Oh,
every time I go to Disney Plus, I always
the regular one, the old one, the original. Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. I mean, yeah, Disney Plus is pretty tight. I haven't really dove too deep into it.
Nah, I don't think it's that great, but
it's pretty tight to just get access to everything.
No. Well, I guess I'm not like a big Disney fan, whatever. But I'm not like a huge movie guy either. So, but it works well with the ladies. Like every
ladies.
Yeah, like every
you mean
girl.
Your lady?
No. Well, her too.
No.
Her too. But I'm just saying, like everybody be posting like. Especially the women, Disney Plus got me effed up. I got work in the morning.
Oh, I can't lie. That Mandalorian kind of got me, though. I'm feeling like you've been seeing the memes of the Baby Yoda.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I didn't know what.
Yeah, it's basically like a Baby Yoda, which we don't know if it's the real Yoda versus it's a new Yoda or Baby Yoda, whatever it is.
But you said you didn't watch it before, right?
I wasn't. I'm not into it, but started getting into it.
But did you know? Because I went to the movies. I went to go see Bombshell like 12:50 the other day.
What's that? The new one?
It's a movie.
The new Star Wars?
No. It's a movie called Bombshell. Oh. But it was about the scandal at Fox News. But they had a 1 a.m. showing for Star Wars, and joints was packed. I mean, it's a 1 a.m. showing, and it's lined up. You know what I'm saying?
Serious.
People walking out there with the big old.
It's dope. It's dope for shout out to what's his name, Lucas. What's his name, homeboy, from Lucasfilms.
I feel like I know you're talking about.
The dude that created Star Wars.
Yeah,
whatever.
Again, I'm not. But I guess I was asking to say because did you know anything about it though? Even though you didn't.
No,
watch it?
I know. Everybody knows. Honestly, everybody knows the basics of Star Wars. Everybody knows.
I knew somebody name was
Luke.
Because somebody name was Darth Vader.
Yeah,
that's what I knew.
Yeah, people know that because of they're like the blueprint for merchandise. You know what I'm saying? They did such a amazing job of like merchandising and branding all their toys and all this stuff that my kids know Star Wars characters. They never seen it. I literally probably never seen Star Wars in full, but I know enough. I just know everybody knows enough. Everybody knows enough. Everybody. I mean, neither. But you literally know enough to
watch
to get into the universe. Okay. You know the big. You know Chewbacca, right? You do know. Trust me. You know.
I know he's ugly.
You know,
he's supposed to be ugly, right?
He's like he almost looked like a dog, but he's like big or whatever, Chewbacca, whatever.
Oh, okay. They used to call it homie Chewbacca.
R2D2, you know what I'm saying? You know Star Wars stuff. Everybody knows it.
Maybe. I got to see it.
It's just like, it's funny, ironically, on a different note, like with same note as Star Wars, I watched, like, a few years back, I watched Scarface. Mm-hmm. And, everybody's like, you gotta watch. Oh, you never seen Scarface? So I watched Scarface. Great movie, obviously. But I knew the whole movie before I even seen it. Everybody quotes it. It's in every rap song. It's all this, all the big moments, all the big movements in the movie. It's always in everything. You know what I'm saying? So I literally knew the whole movie. You know what I'm saying?
You just have to piece it together and watch it.
It's just like in one, okay, I watched the movie once and now I knew everything. But it's the same thing with Star Wars. It's like, it's such a big piece of pop culture that I know the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? All right, I don't know everybody's name by heart and I don't know everything. But when you tell me Chewbacca, I know that he's like this big thing or whatever. Now I just don't know his origin story and all this other stuff. Other movie I've seen, since we're doing movie reviews, 2 movies that I wanted to talk about is The Joker, which is dope, super dope movie. Shout out to Joaquin Phoenix. You know what I'm saying? He did his thing. The Joker, I definitely could see why people was talking about it, why it was a big deal, because it's like, it's a super dope take on the Joker origin story. Super dope. Like, it's just interesting to see. Like, all right, in this world of Gotham, how this...
now you feel like, Joker has a point in what he's trying to do.
Well, he has a point, and obviously he has, like, mental health issues, you know what I'm saying? And, what I did respect about the movie is the fact that he didn't really completely go off the deep end until... they can completely like cut him off of his medical treatment.
Yeah, but
you know what I'm saying.
But even then, in his entire purpose, and I kind of feel this way about black people in the world we live in today. He has mental issues because of what happened to him or how he was raised, whatever. Right,
and he was going to get help for that.
Right, that's black people, right? We just don't always go to get help. But then, so now he's trying to get help. So now we're all trying to right the ship and do better, and we're asking for our 40 acres or a piece of our pie. And we're not getting it to them and pushed off into the corner how he was. So his thing is the reason why he went off because he wanted, his whole thing was now since that's the case, I have to create total anarchy to recalibrate the system.
It didn't come together that way.
No, but I'm saying his overall.
Eventually, it kind of got to there.
Yeah, well, I'm saying toward the end of the movie, once everything is done, that's what all that's about. The chaos and everything. He wanted to create total anarchy because he's like the system is broken.
Yeah.
The system is broken, and that's his now. Like that's
to correct
his
the way to correct the system, to correct the wrongs and the right.
Right, and then when you look at it that way,
to right the ship, kind of.
Right, because he's always been about total anarchy. We just didn't know why. Like when you hear anarchy, you hear somebody doing that's not good. It's just
and that's what I get what you're saying. His whole thing is like, that's not funny, and then he's like, it just depends on how you look, because to homeboy. The spoiler alert, whatever. He's on this night show. It's like you brought me on to make fun of me,
right?
So that's funny to you. You know what I'm saying? So now me, fucking you up or messing you up is that's funny to me. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And that's really what it be about. You know what I'm saying? And so To that, because you still have all the people in the audience that know that he's there to berate you and to make fun.
Yeah, everybody's in on the joke.
Everybody's in.
I'm the butt of the joke, and
right.
so it's okay for me to be the butt of the joke, but it's not okay for you to be the butt of the joke. Basically.
Right. You know what I'm saying? And you have
because you're elitist and wealthy, and I'm poor, or whatever, disenfranchised, or whatever.
Right. And only something as severe as that will change the system, because it's not until something bad happens, you know what I'm saying, kids walk into a school with guns, and okay, we need to reevaluate how we look at kids and their mental. We can't just push them off and say and not pay them any mind, like, oh, because when they say they feel lonely or nobody cares, you're bullied. Like, we have to take that serious now because we've had too many sample sizes, whatever. But without it, do we ever pay attention to them? You know what I'm saying? No. You know what I'm saying? And so it takes something super super severe, and that's why I'm like, to an extent, that has to happen. And I met this dope urban planning designer the other day, and she had me read this book, and essentially what it was saying in there was a semblance of that as well.
Yeah, and so another one is Queen and Slim. We both seen that. You know what I'm saying? Part of the talk that we had, recently, me and my wife, when we were at the event, was talking about Queen and Slim, and they were just saying that basically the reason that they were diving into the relationship, because the thing is, at Queen and Slim, they end up having trust they had to have the ultimate trust for each other. They had to get to that point in a relationship, and so that's how he tied into the fact that, when you come up with finances, you guys got to really trust each other. Like, you guys are like each other's Bonnie and Clyde, ride or die, whatever. Queen and Slim, super dope movie, no spoilers, but I would just say, like, it's a very black experience, from the wardrobe, from the music, to the hairstyles, to just like whatever you want to. This obviously the cast. I mean, just the producers
put together a good sex scene.
Yeah,
short and sweet. You know what I'm saying? Straight to the point. You know what I'm saying? We've all been there. Cool. Go about your business. You know
yeah. I can't lie. The whole time during that sex scene, I'm like, y'all been on a run all this time. Like, I was just like, this is a little, it's kind of, hey, I don't know. I'm just like a germ freaker. I don't know how to call it. But I was just like, it's kind of crazy, but at the same time, when you're on the run, hey, that's ain't no time like the present. You know what I'm saying?
And they're probably thinking this could end in so many ways.
Yeah, any second, so let's just go for it.
Let's share this moment.
Yeah, which I was like, you know what? That's what it looked like, and that's probably what it was. that's what it.
I just hate that it had to be, who it was to do.
Yeah,
what they did.
You know what? It made sense though. It made perfect sense.
It did. It did.
The bad part about it was, the bad part about it, and that's, would we like to, in a perfect world, would we like a new narrative? Would we like to just totally flip and just say, like, this is the way it is now, and we would in a perfect world today, we would like to see that movie and be like, oh hell no, it would never happen. That's not how it would go. But that's not
exactly.
But pretty much. That's. I mean, outside of all the antics, we did have a white allied couple that really held it down in the movie. Shout out to Flea, but from the Red Hot Chili Peppers. But yes, in a perfect world, when we we really like look at the story and how it came together. I think that we as black people one day inspire to be people that would look at a movie like that and just be like, no way, no how, not in a million years.
Or not anymore.
Yeah, or not anymore. That's just not how we get down. But at this moment in time where we have to work to do to kind of change the narrative in this
question. Did you see Harriet?
I didn't. I haven't seen Harriet.
I haven't seen it either. Is there a reason why you didn't see it?
I just haven't had a chance to. I don't really I don't always make it to movies. Like,
Do you feel
no flex.
to?
No, well, I do feel compelled to. I'm gonna see it. I'm probably gonna end up buying it. Like I buy a lot of movies on iTunes, and so with Queen and Slim, I made it out because I don't want to flex, but I got invited to a private screening, early on. That's my, so I gotta pull up when you get that invite, but with Harriet, shout out to Vanessa Bell Calloway, she's in there, and so. Because of that alone, I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah, I mean, off that premise, I want to go.
Yeah, shout out to Vanessa Bell Calloway, amazing actress. Can we give her a round of applause? She's she's actually been on our show, and she's a good dear friend of ours. And so I just would say, like, I seen her posting pictures of herself on the carpet and stuff. So all I didn't say is I'm gonna watch the movie. I just haven't, and then I haven't heard all the best stuff about it, but I'm not tripping. Like, I'm still gonna watch it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it. I'd only add because I felt like it was one of those hard to watch movies in the sense that it wasn't like, it was different than Queen and Slim, but maybe the same message almost. You know what I'm saying? But we had the help, and then we had
you gonna have allies. You know what I'm saying?
No, I'm saying the movie The Help.
Oh, The Help. I thought you were saying allies too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, The Help was definitely a movie that, like, even Octavia, she says later, like, it was kind of like not what she wanted. Like, she felt like if she could do it all over again, she probably wouldn't. At least that's what I seen, and like somebody said, that's her reaction to The Help, because it's too. Sometimes things could be. Some movies that address the race issue and racism and slavery and oppression of black people, it could come off as like a Disney after school special sometimes, and that's even worse than like just the hitting things directly on. And then other times where it's like it's too bad, where it becomes this American Horror Story where you're just like, I don't need to necessarily need that in my spirit either.
Well, and I think that's kind of what I was getting at, like coming from The Help, and then the progress that blacks are making behind the scenes as well as on screen. It's like you don't want to be. Not only do you not want to be put in a position like that's all we do and all we make and all we care about, but then there's also this feeling like there's no forward movement if we stay stuck here. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, Queen and Slim gives us the same picture almost, but not quite. But you understand, like, like it's a bad time because of what's going on. Mm-hmm. You have the Detroit movie
that was a horror movie.
You had that. You had that situation.
Yeah.
Then, but then it didn't. What's the movie? Different story, but empowering black people. Where they talking about NASA with Taraji P. Henson.
Hidden Figures.
But
then you got Detroit. You got Precious.
Right.
You got a couple movies where I'm 12 Years a Slave.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So, but Hidden Figures is a different situation where we're winning during a black time, and it gives you hope.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, and that's not and it's based off a true story. It ain't just like some random stuff.
And you still get the narrative that it was hard for us. We were, you know what I'm saying,
seen
disenfranchised, less. You know what I'm saying. So you get the same point across, but there's hope on the end of it.
Yeah.
And for some,
Detroit is like, why do I need to watch this? Do you want me to have nightmares?
We know what's going on.
Exactly. Do you want me to have PTSD or something? Like, because I seen the advertisement. This is about Detroit, an untold story. You gotta see this. I'm like, who needs to see this? Do I need to see that? You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like I
never saw it.
No, it's bad.
No, I only didn't see it because of you,
bro.
When you came back in there and you were so.
Dog, I'm sitting there like, so you want me to see is this what, should this be a horror film? Is that, just put this in the horror category and then tell me, yeah, this is scariest movie for black people or something? You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you want me to get out of this movie? I'm just wondering.
They try to remember going to Detroit again.
Yeah, just to let us know, like, oh, it's bad out here for y'all. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm just like, what's the message? Like, what is it that you want me to convey? That, some black people got killed, got framed, and then the cops got away with it. Like, you don't think I know that? Like, do you think I'm like, what do you think I'm like? Do you think I'm just like oblivious to what's going on in the world? So I don't know. It just was like a weird movie to just see how even the movie was one thing, even how they promoted it was weird to me. I'm just like, you need to say, if you're a white ally, watch this movie. Maybe you could, you know what I'm saying? Maybe you promote it that way or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, promote it in a way that doesn't make me feel like you're trying to school me to black history. Because, I don't know. Whatever.
History we don't care for. About that time to get up out of here. How you want to end it?
Hey, man. You know what? I'm glad that we made this show today. I hope that whoever listens to this show gets a little bit of game, get a little bit of knowledge, and a little bit better than what they start off with. Shout out to Keith, Jackie, and the Good News fam. And, you know, hey, I'm about to say that's the Christmas bells. I'm like, yeah, it's Christmas time. You won't be hearing from us until after Christmas, right? Yeah. So, happy holidays. Happy Kwanzaa.
They don't have a choice. I mean, today is like the 22nd.
No, that's what I'm saying. You won't be here. So I wanted to say happy.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying, right?
Okay. I'm like,
so,
okay.
Yeah. So yeah. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Kwanzaa. I think tomorrow is the first day of Hanukkah. Kwanzaa's coming up soon. You know what I'm saying? Just whatever you celebrate, man. Just do it. If you don't even celebrate, just hopefully just call your mom if you hold witness or whatever. Say something to somebody you love. Call your grandma. Text, I don't know, put some money on somebody's books if they locked up. You know what I'm saying? Just spread joy. Speaking of that, I gotta hit up one of my cousins. Just be like, hey, what's good, bro? Happy holidays.
Right. And it's important when you get in there, you know, don't nobody feel like you care about them.
Yeah.
And so that's what's up. But definitely, you know, same here. Merry Christmas to all, and to a Happy New Year and good nights that you may have. First and foremost, I just hope everybody makes it to Christmas and to the New Year.
Yeah, absolutely, because not all of us did.
And I mean, there's been
Juice
two losses.
World,
There's two losses. I mean, that too. You know what I'm saying? But there's two losses that's hit in December. You know what I'm saying? With people that just didn't. I mean, senseless shootings. Senseless shootings.
Oh, you talking about?
They're not. Yeah, they're not. I mean, they're not famous. I mean, they were community famous. You know, someone was a cook and a chef. You know what I'm saying? Like, just.
You know, actually, I think I heard about that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, some of the stuff is just, it's unnecessary, and it's like, it's crazy when you see somebody here and then gone tomorrow, and it wasn't like an ailment or something where they had to go. It wasn't like a super accident, like, you know, they swerved on the, you know, truck, you know, something like that. But somebody out here playing God. So I just pray that everybody get there. And have a Happy New Year, and just, you know, be communal. Find your family. You know,
2020 coming soon. Focus.
Indeed. Don't get no better. Well, Merry Christmas to you too.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, man.
You know, as long as I got my little one, you know,
Yeah.
I can't complain. You know, he's a smart kid and getting good grades. So, and he plays with anything.
Yeah.
You can get him a sock. And as long as he unwrapped it,
Give him some boxes.
he wouldn't care. As long as he unwrapped it.
I mean, yeah, that's a blessing.
Yeah. So we're about to get up out of here. Dustin, come tell everybody goodbye. I know, but you know,
well,
it's only two people in here.
Yes, in here, but hopefully in Radio Land,
you talking
people
to the outside world.
Talking on your dad's mic.
Come over here.
Oh, you want to talk on my mic? So, look, say it on my mic. All right. So, you want to use my mic? All right, see how it is.
Yeah. He's daddy's boy. So, say hi.
Hi, everybody.
Tell everybody Merry Christmas.
You don't got a deep voice.
Merry Christmas.
And what do you want to tell the people before we go?
Peace.
Oh, say it in the mic though. You ain't saying it in the mic, man. He said peace. Say it. You gotta say it clear. You did a piece and you dipped off. You gotta say it in the mic though.
You gotta say it so they can hear you.
Peace.
Yeah.
Well, this has been it. Shout out to Good News Radio. My man, Charles Handy. I am Dontrell Detroit. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. He said the rest. Yeah. Go Niners.
Raiders.